What's up, guys? It's Dante here, back giving you yet another Dramascripted Saturday. And on this Dramascripted Saturday, I'm going to go over a lot of topics. But first things first, we're going to go over the ratings. And yet Raw with 1.77 million, AEW with 300,000 viewers, and with NXT with 644,000 viewers. And yet again, NXT loses a Wednesday Night War to yet AEW. And as I keep saying on every episode at this point, I don't know why Vince wants his development talent to go ahead against a full company, because I don't know how many weeks that Vince is willing to lose, because he's on NXT, he's clearly losing. The records is in the books. At one time, AEW had a 20-week win streak, and then if they would lose like 1 week, and they would go like another 8-win streak, then another 9-win streak, then another double week win streak. It's just AEW's the better show. The facts are in the ratings. I don't know what Vince has to do or I don't know what else needs to be done for him to realize that on a consistent basis, NXT cannot be AEW on a Wednesday in ratings. And it's been shown 3 weeks that both NXT and AEW were on different days, that both shows had higher ratings. So I don't get why Vince still wants to keep NXT on Wednesday, knowing that it's at this point you could make a bet and you would probably win that AEW is going to beat NXT on Wednesdays. But moving on, as you guys see, I have on the New Japan Pro Wrestling t-shirt because I'm actually going to talk about some New Japan Pro Wrestling news. So, for the third time in history, someone has actually won the G1 Climax tournament 2 times. Kaito Ibushi wins it 2 times in a row. He won it last year, 2019, and he won it this year in 2020. So now he gets a second chance on the main event of Wrestle Kingdom 15, second chance to become New Japan Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion. So the match is already going to be set unless Naito loses the belts in the next 2 months, which I don't see that happening, because New Japan Wrestling, for guys who don't pay attention to New Japan Wrestling, they don't switch titles a lot. Like Naito has had both the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion and the Intercontinental NWP Champion. He won both of them back in New Japan Wrestling. Wrestling Kingdom 14. He's only dropped the belts twice, and we're almost on a full year span. To give you, another thing is, this is probably due to the pandemic. Your New Japan Wrestling U.S. champion is Jon Moxley, and Jon Moxley beat Lance Archer all the way back in January 4th of 2019. But I guess that's due to the pandemic, and Jon can't really do a lot of international traveling, but they don't really switch titles a lot. So very excited for this match. Obviously, in the future there's going to be a Wrestling Kingdom 15 match. For those of you who live in North America like I do, we're not getting any sleep that night because Wrestling Kingdom 15 goes live for us at 2 a.m. in the morning here in North America. So, yeah, rest in peace, sleep that night. So, looking forward to watching another main event with Ibushi in it. Moving on to some AEW news. So, it's been decided that it's going to be Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley at Full Gear, main event, and an I Quit match. This match is going to be extremely brutal. You got two of the most hardcore North American wrestlers in a match with no rules, where a man has to verbally say, I don't want the title anymore. Someone has to say, I quit. And the build up for this match has been phenomenal. With Eddie Kingston saying that he never tapped out, he passed out. The referee just stopped the match to save Eddie Kingston from himself. And for Eddie Kingston constantly, week after week after week, just going after Jon Moxley, just choking him out at the end of one Dynamite episode, constantly bringing up the facts that, one, he was never eliminated from that Royal Rumble, Battle Royale, and two, that he's not afraid of Jon Moxley. And Jon Moxley being the champion, he hasn't backed down these past 3 weeks, and he's always going back at Eddie Kingston. So they've decided to settle it in an I Quit match at Full Gear, Saturday, November 7th. That match is going to be insane. And in other AEW news, it's also been decided that the champ for the tag team titles, we have FDR, and with the Young Bucks winning that Fatal 4-Way tag match, it's going to be FDR versus the Young Bucks for the AEW tag team titles. And I know story-wise, this build has been going on for 2 months, but behind the scenes, and if you follow the Elite Wrestling YouTube channel, this build has been going on for more or less a year and a half, 2 years. Because the whole thing is fuck the Revival and FTR. Then they had to change it from FTRR. They have been building this feud for a year and a half, 2 years. And we're finally getting the match at Full Gear. So this match is also going to be a good match. We've been waiting 2 years for this. Two of the best tag team right now in North America. Yeah, because I would put, let's see, we have FTR, we have the Young Bucks, we have the New Day. So 3 of the major tag teams in North America, 2 out of 3 major tag teams in North America, and a match. You could throw God in there, Guerrillas of Destiny, but God is in New Japan. Actually, I have the Briscoe brothers, I'd put them 4th, but so we have that. So now I'm going to go back into WWE news. I'm going to go over to Hell in a Cell. Hell in a Cell, to be quite frank, we don't know what's going to happen. There's only 5 matches listed. I'm going to give you my thoughts and predictions on the 5 matches listed versus The Miz for the Money in the Bank contract. I don't like matches like these. I really don't like how they put the contract on the line. I really have a bad feeling that they're gonna take the Money in the Bank contract off of Otis. I really don't like it. I don't like the back and forth. I never really like when the Money in the Bank contract is put on the line in a title match, because it shows a lot of wasted work getting Otis over. And I, for one, love Otis. I love Otis's character. I love his gimmick. I love his energy. But he is a tag team wrestler. He's not a singles wrestler. But I feel like if they're gonna have The Miz win, then I feel like they just wasted all that time and effort in Otis. So my prediction on that match, for me, I want to be wrong. I'm going to say The Miz is going to win the match, but I want to be wrong. I want Otis to win the match. And then we have next on the card, we have Bayley versus Sasha Banks and a Hell in a Cell match for the SmackDown women's title. Another feud, 2 best friends, well, former best friends, going at it. Now in a Hell in a Cell match for the women's title. I'm going to go with Sasha Banks beats Bayley in a Hell in a Cell. Then after that, we got Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton in another feud, which I think has been going on for entirely too long. This is another match that's going to take place in the Hell in a Cell, and Orton's been in a lot of Hell in a Cell matches. I think this should be his 7th. This should be his 7th overall Hell in a Cell match. This will be Drew McIntyre's first. So experience-wise, Orton has the edge in Hell in a Cell matches. This is Drew McIntyre's first Hell in a Cell. I'm going to go with Drew McIntyre walking out of Hell in a Cell with the WWE Universal title. And for the last match on the card, it's going to be the big dog, Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso in the first ever I Quit Hell in a Cell match, which them adding the Hell in a Cell is a little bit overboard in my opinion. It didn't need to have the quote unquote I quit stipulation. It's just there. I don't get it. They just, I guess, for the drama, but I'm going to go with Roman Reigns beating Jey Uso in the second straight pay-per-view. So I'm gonna go Roman Reigns. So those are my thoughts and predictions on the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view that will be happening tomorrow, start time 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And one more thing I want to go to, the top 5 PWI top 100 women's list came out 2 weeks ago. I meant to talk about it last week, didn't get a chance to. But the top 5 people on this list are Bayley, Asuka, Sasha Banks, Charlotte Flair, and Becky Lynch. Those are the top 5. It wasn't in the right order, but those are the top 5. 4 out of the top 5 are the original 4 Horsemen women, which are all of those members besides Asuka. A lot of notable names on the list. Nyla Rose from AEW. The first AEW's Women's Champion is on there. So, and Smiley Ray is on the list as well. I'll leave the top 20 list on this video ahead, but notice the top 4 out of top 5 is the original Women's 4 Horsemen, and all top 5 is from WWE. So usually how PWG does their list, especially like the top 10 list, is like, well, how many title reigns have these people held and how many days have it? If we like the top 5 on the women's list, in the past 365 days, all of those women has had at least one title reign over the past year. So Bayley's still champion. Sasha's had the title. Asuka's had the title 2 times. Charlotte had started off last year as the champion. And Asuka has had 2 title reigns within the past 2 months. So that's why the top 5 people are WWE females. But yeah. So that's going to wrap this up on this week's Dramascripted Saturday. Remember, there'll be a Dramascripted Saturday every Saturday. And if you like what you have witnessed, please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. And until next Saturday, guys, I'm Dante. I'm out of here. Later. And peace. Be safe, everyone.